even understand who Jesus was. So tonight, if you want a Bible, we're going to open our Bible up to Luke chapter 19 and see the way Jesus did this. Don't take my word for it, but if you want a Bible to check this out, as my lovely gentleman, handsome and stunning and buff, hold the Bibles, just muscles just pop out like crazy. If you want to see that, raise your hand and then get a Bible. And you can open up and know that I'm not making this stuff up. But we're going to open up Bibles up to Luke 19, starting at verse 1. And we're going to see the way that Jesus, in the very beginning of his ministry, in the middle of his ministry even, how he came and made himself known to people who were even seeking him out. And they were trying to figure him out, and he was looking for certain people as well. So open your Bibles up to Luke 19, starting at verse 1. Yeah, use your cell phone, use your Bible app. I'm totally cool with that. Luke chapter 19, verse 1, it says this. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of what? Anybody know? Anybody know the song? What? Zacchaeus. Everybody want to sing the song for us tonight? I'm impressed that he's doing this. There's more. Oh. All right. So he has the first couple of lines down. Zacchaeus was a wee little man. Okay, so this dude's name was Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He's a pretty prominent dude. He wanted to see who Jesus was, meaning he did not know Jesus. He did not know about him. What's that? Sorry. Then it says, he wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, you come down immediately. I want to stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, he has gone to be the guest of a sinner. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, 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 here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount. Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. There's a lot of deep, cool things that go on in this passage. A lot of profound things that Jesus does. But when it comes to this idea of being intentional with our relationships, intentional with people we meet and we even know, this shows us several important things that I want us to see tonight. The first thing that we see take place, or that we can take away from this story, first and foremost, is that Jesus, guess what? He had friends. He had people that liked him, and people that came with him, and people that wanted to hang out with him, and more than people that just wanted to see him. They heard him, and it's like, I want to be this guy's friend. I'm going to go where he goes. I want to be where he is. I want to hang out with him. And so Jesus comes into Jericho, right, with all of his homies. They're all together. And they're hanging out. The first thing you take away tonight is all of you have friends. All of you have people you know and who know you. You even have, I guarantee you have people that want to hang out with you. It's crazy. Sometimes I feel it's crazy too that you guys want to come here and hang out with me. I feel blessed just for that reason, because I don't get it sometimes. But the reality is that Jesus had friends that came and hang out with him. Those people, those friends knew who Jesus was. Not just what he liked to do, what video games, and what girls he was interested in. They knew him inside and out. Because why? Because Jesus told them. Jesus told them exactly who he was. And guess what? They still wanted to follow him. they still wanted to hang out with him. And so he had this huge entourage of people that followed him. The reality is tonight, and probably one of the most hard, or not most, one of the hardest things about this sermon right here tonight is the fact that you have friends. And the question for you is, are you following those friends, or are those friends following you? Which is the better way? We have friends, and we like people because we like to hang out with them, and they got cool things going on, and they're cool people and got cool personalities that match with ours, and we want to be with them and hang out with them. But the reality is that sometimes we get down on ourselves and say, man, I just want to hang out with them. I want to be with them. They don't really want to be with me. But the reality is, if you have good friends, friendship goes both ways. Friend, you are a friend to somebody, and they are a friend to you. That means you want to hang out with them. In turn, they want to hang out with you. Here's the difference tonight that I think is most important for us. Is I don't know what's going on in some of your friends' life, but I guarantee you this. If you know Jesus, and I say that you do because you're here tonight, then your life is worth following more than theirs. If they don't have Christ in their life, then you should not be following their life and their lifestyle. But because you have Jesus in your life, you should be asking them to follow you because your life is better. Your life has more hope and more opportunity and more ways and that I don't even understand for your life to be successful in this world than theirs without Jesus. And they need to know that. But we've got to get into our minds that they're not just settling for our friendship, but they are seeking your friendship as well for a reason. And maybe they don't know what that reason is, but I guarantee tonight, above a lot of other reasons you might think your life is cool and people should be your friend, number one reason that people should come and follow you and you should invite people to follow you in your lifestyle is because you have Jesus in your lifestyle. Now, you might not be perfect, and I'm not saying you are, and I'm sure you don't even think you are, and you don't have all the answers. You don't have this whole following Jesus thing figured out, and that's okay. That's all right. But as long as you say he's in your life and you're trying and you are seeking God, your lifestyle is better than one without him. And so you should seek him. Invite your friends to follow you. And so when we view our friendships and the people we hang out with in that way, it should not be hard or a question or even a difficulty factor in asking them to come to church with you and come find out about what your real lifestyle is about. Luckily, that's the hardest part of this. The second part of this is something I want to teach you tonight. The second thing we see that Jesus does when he walks in with all his entourage of people is that he's not focused on them. His identity is not found in his entourage, in his friends, because his eyes are focused on other people. He's looking and he's searching for other people. The crowd and his friends are trying to hang on to him and get everything they can from him, and their eyes are focused on him. But Jesus, not having his identity in his followers, is looking for other people. And who does he see? Someone that is looking for him. He sees Zacchaeus in a tree, just trying to figure out who this guy is, get a glimpse of this guy that he's been hearing out on the social networks and hearing about all over the place on TV and on E! Channel. He's just trying to figure out who this guy is that the rumors have been flying about. And he gets up in the tree, and you guess what? Jesus, not being focused on his group of friends and his homies, focused outward, sees Zacchaeus. And then he does something really crazy. He says, Zacchaeus, come down. I want to know you. You want to know me? I want to know you. I want to go to your house, and I want to hang out with you. In turn, Jesus breaks away from his friends and says, you guys go chill Go eat lunch, do whatever you guys want to do. I'm going to go spend some time over here. You guys have each other. My focus is on Zacchaeus now. He's wealthy. He has a lot of money. He's pretty high up, but he's shunned by society because of his occupation. And maybe because of some of his past ways of doing business. I mean, he's not innocent by any means, but he's not guilty of totally being shunned and saying he can't be a part of society. Jesus goes to his house and gets to know him, and hang out with him and find out who he is. And in turn, Zacchaeus gets to know who Jesus is and what he's about. See, here's the thing that I think that goes on a lot in your school and maybe with you even. Does anybody know that those popular people in school? Do those popular people have entourages that follow them? They got like their group of friends that are like their good friends. They've been welcomed into their status, if you want to say that. And then you have another circle of people around them, right? That is constantly trying to break into the inner circle, right? They want to be their friends. They're trying to do anything to get to know him and to be accepted by this popular people. And so anywhere they go, there's these people. Their friends and the followers, right? Same thing with Jesus. And it's kind of sad to say that maybe some of us in here might be that kind of situation. But maybe not. But maybe you're not. I'm not the popular people, but you got people around you. Your friends around you. You've got people that want to be friends with you guys. And people that you're not letting be friends with you. We need to really address the people that are trying to be friends with you too. Those on the outside circle that want to know you. And yet you shun them and you push them away and say, no, you're not good enough. We need to step back a minute and say, what is our purpose? What is our goal? What is the point of friendship? And it's not to shun people. It's funny to me how on Facebook we seek to get the most friends. If you meet a person one time, boom, friend request. And they accept it. Why? Because we want friends. But in the midst of reality, real life situation at school, youth group, church, at the mall, you got people trying to be your friends, and we're like, talk to the hand. Go find your people because you don't belong here. And that makes no sense. We are battling ourselves. We want friends, but we don't want real friends. We want friends that we can see what they're doing and stupid stuff they're doing and where they're at, but I don't want real relationships. There's a problem with that. Because Christianity is focused on real relationships. Your relationship with Jesus is not some social network relationship. Your relationship with Jesus is with a real entity, person who wants a real relationship with you. That he doesn't want you to poke him, and he doesn't want you to message him what you're doing or tell him every place that you're at or what the crazy things or what you've been reading or the videos you've been watching. He wants a serious relationship with you. He wants to talk with you. He wants to talk to you. He wants to show you things in your life, and you want to tell him things in your life because he's going to help you with those things. We need real relationships, and in an iPod world, we are distancing ourselves from real, true relationships. Well, we have the ability to have real relationships. We got things in our ears so we are distracted and we don't have to talk to people. Maybe the first thing we talked about last week is that we need to take those things out of our ears and look for people who are wanting something from us. They're attracted to us, not because of our physical appearance, but because of our personality and of who they see in us that maybe you don't see coming out of you. But then there's those people off to the distance that are just trying to make themselves seen or see you. And the reality is, I believe a lot of us, we're focused on the friends. And we're focused on the people that are pushing against us to become our friend. And the reality is that when it comes to intentional relationships, it means just like Jesus, we need to get our eyes off of the immediate group and the immediate clique and circle we hang with, and look for the people around us who are just wanting to come and see and find out. They're just wanting to come and be known. And there are all kinds of those people in your life and at your school and in your situation that we need to take our eyes off of our group of friends and look around. And maybe there's somebody that God is telling you need to have a relationship, that you need to be a friend to. See, there's a couple of important things that Jesus does with intentional relationships. One, we see that Jesus has compassion on people. Those who want to be in the group and are fighting to be in the group, and he has compassion on those outside the group who are just can't even see or be a part. He has compassion on them and seeks them out. The second thing is that Jesus wanted to know Zacchaeus, so he went where he was comfortable. He went to where? Anybody remember? He went to... No. His house. Jesus went to his house. And so the easiest place for us sometimes when we're trying to meet somebody new and we're trying to intentionally speak into someone's life is that we go to where they're comfortable. And we seek places where they can be most comfortable at so we can get to know them. Sometimes if we take people to where we're comfortable, it makes for an awkward situation. And Jesus says, I'm going to go to your house where you're comfortable. I can see what you like. We can talk about who you are and what you like to do. And then you're comfortable and I get a whole nother glimpse of you. So we went somewhere where Zacchaeus was comfortable. Then Jesus encouraged him about who he was, about what he had been, that he didn't have to be everything he's been in the past, but that he had hope and that he had a future that was not any bearing on his past, but that he had a future. And what did that do for Zacchaeus? It changed his whole life. It changed his whole perspective on life. He said, I'm willing to give up my wealth, my status in the community just to make sure people know I was acting right. And maybe I wasn't acting right, but maybe I was, but I'm willing to give it all away to make all the relationships in my life right. Changed his whole perspective of his life. And Zacchaeus went on to believe Jesus, believe in, follow Jesus, have faith in Jesus, and live his life according to what Jesus was teaching. Zacchaeus then was not the outsider, just trying to be seen, but to see Jesus. Now he became part of the inner circle, part of his friends, because he was known by Jesus and Jesus knew him. And we have all types of relationships in our life. Our friends, the ones that want to be our friends, and the ones that are just looking to be known by somebody. And tonight we need to think about those people in your life. I would almost bet that God has a person that he can point to in your mind right now that is on the outside, that's just sitting over in the corner, that has nobody to talk to, that you have one of those people that is in your mind. You know, I would even say for us that might be an easy person for us to go talk to because we're not connected. We haven't lived life with them. We're not worried about what our close friends are thinking about us. They just want to be known. And I guarantee you somebody like that there's so many of in our world, they would love just to have somebody to talk to, somebody to take interest in them. But then you need to reevaluate all those people who you've been shunning and who your group of friends has been shunning and say, take another look at those people and say, they are worth just as much as you are. And maybe you need to reevaluate the way you think about them and acknowledge them. And maybe even if you need to, use them to create your whole new circle of friends. if the other ones aren't willing to accept them. But you have your friends too that should be the easiest to talk to about your faith and about your relationship with God. But we find that those are the hardest ones because we're so concerned about what they think about us. So tonight as we close, I want you to bow your heads. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think about your friends. I want you to think about those people who want to be your friends and that you haven't let. And I want you to think about that person that maybe is just a flash in your peripheral vision. It doesn't have anybody. Then I want you to ask God this question tonight, because I can't answer it for you and I can't make it happen. I want you and God to discuss, what do you need to do with all of them? It's a time for you to focus on your friends and make sure they know what you know about Christ in your life. You need to think about those circle of people that want to be your friend and the way you've been treating them. And ask God, as you see those people in your mind, what you need to be doing with them. How you need to be treating them. Then as God names that person that maybe it's just a flicker in your peripheral vision, sitting by themselves at lunch or in the hallway or even in class, ask God what you need to do about them. Dear Lord, tonight I can't answer those questions. I can't make things happen in each and every life that's represented here tonight. But dear Lord, I know what you want to do in each and every one of those situations, with each and every one of those people represented in each person's circle and of influence. And dear Lord, I see myself as a student quite a few years back, and I felt like a lot of times like that person on the outside. And I remember times of being that person on the inside. And I know where I messed up and where I failed you. And dear Lord, I don't want them to have to experience any of that failure that I did. So dear Lord, tonight I pray that as we leave this place and as we go home and maybe as we settle down for the night, I pray that you would put people in each mind tonight and throughout this week. And dear Lord, that you would just not let them go away until they addressed those people that you put in their mind. They would take those actions as you took those actions with a little man, wealthy and unpopular as Zacchaeus. And you changed his whole life around. Dear Lord, I see a lot of superhero movies, and I like them. But there's none of them that I can be like. But what I see what you did in Zacchaeus' life, that was heroic. And that's the type of hero I want to be. And I hope that that's the type of hero that my friends here tonight see that they can be in someone else's life. So I pray that you would guide them and you would direct them and you give them words and courage and inspiration and prodding from your Holy Spirit to take on these intentional relationships with people that you've been flooding their life with and that we may have not even given a second thought to. But dear Lord, tonight I put that between you and each person here. as you've given me people in my life, which I need to do the same. I can only do and be a part what you challenge me with. But dear Lord, I pray that you would do the same with my friends here tonight. For your glory and for your kingdom and for your power and your grace and your love and your salvation and redemption to be known in as many lives as we can possibly reach. So guide us and direct us this night, I do pray. In your name, amen. You guys are dismissed. Make sure check out the EYM website. Check out and get signed up. Talk to your parents about NAS night, all that's going on there. And everybody have a great week.